Hi, going to talk a little bit about the frequency and severity tracking spreadsheet. This is basically an informational guideline on what the form actually shows and how we can best use that information to improve upon our safety performance. Here we go. Okay, when you first open the Excel spreadsheet, it should automatically open to the information page. If not, just come down to the tabs and click on the information page. This is a good page, obviously, to give us information. What I wanted to convey here is the different categories of injuries, beginning with recordable and then working our way on down. We talk about recordable and the difference between recordable injuries and first aid injuries, or injuries that aren't considered to be OSHA recordable injuries. So we give you some examples. We talk about the calculation of the rate, tell you how the calculations are done, and then what that rate actually means. And then if we continue on down, we have restricted duty cases, talk a little bit about those. Once again, calculation of the rate and what the rate actually means. Go next to lost time cases, same thing applies. We go to the DART rate, or days away restricted or job transfer rate. We talk a little bit about that, same thing with the calculation and then what that actually means. Next part, we have something I put in here, the relationship between frequency and severity, to hopefully better understand that frequency does indeed breed severity. And some of you have already seen this before, but I put in here the Heinrich pyramid and explain a little bit about what that is, talk about a severity rate and understanding how that is calculated. On the next tab, we have the Miller Electric company-wide accident and injury rates for the calendar year. And I have it divided by month. You can come in here to month, see what the labor hours were for the company, and then how many accidents we had. You can see what the rates were for that month. See, some of these are relatively high, and all of these monthly rates actually go into our year-to-date rates. So year-to-date, this is what we have. These will be updated monthly about the same time I send out the Project Manager Safety Metrics data sheet. On the next tab, this is something new that we've been trying to create. This is a 2010-2011 review of Miller Electric Company recordable incident rate versus the national average. Now, this isn't versus the national average of every type of employer. This is the national average of electrical contracting companies. So what we have here is the Miller Electric Company monthly rate, the national average, and then the 12-month average, the 12-month rolling average of our rates. And we can see that with our monthly average, we see a lot of movement here. The national average is, you hold your mouse over it, you'll pick it up, it's 1.8, and this is for only recordable incidents though. Okay, so you can see over here in April of 2010 we had a 4.7 rate, or over here in July we had a 6.7. So you see that is well above the national average, but we also had some months in here where it was below, and that is what helps keep our overall rate right now right around the national average. As you can see, this includes December. December has not been calculated because we're still in the month. If we go over to job transfer chart, this is the 2010-2011 review of restricted or job transfer rate. Okay, this is going to be our restricted rate, and you can see where we began in 2010 at very high numbers. But if you take a look at our rolling average, that we're slowly but surely working our way down to close to the national average. I would like to remind everybody that it is very beneficial to try to be below the green line. Well, if we look at the lost workday rate, we have some in here that are elevated. April is, for the last 2 years, been consistently our worst month, with October being pretty bad. But if we look at what we've done this year so far, from June on, we've been very, very good, and that has dropped our rate down tremendously. The TCIR chart, this is the total case incident rate. This takes into account our recordable, our restricted, and our lost time cases. You compile those, and then you get a national average of 3.7. This is the 2010 national averages. The 2011 hasn't been released yet. It'll be released next year. But what I'm doing is I'm taking the 2010 number and moving it all the way across. If anything, I believe that the national average will decrease once again next year. But you can see some of our numbers and how we're performing, slowly but surely getting even better. We've had some time here where we've been above the national average, and that isn't good, especially when it comes to bidding work with other customers. Well, I certainly hope that that was useful. Hopefully now we can get a better understanding of what the different categories of injuries actually mean, how they apply to our statistics, and how we can do a better job of improving our safety performance. If you have any questions, or if there's some things you still don't understand, please don't hesitate to call me or contact me, and I will do my best to walk you through. I'm also in the process of making a sheet just like the one we just talked about, but I'm going to separate it by division and branches. The divisions will be sent their division numbers along with the charts so they can get a better understanding of their safety performance and see areas to where they can maybe concentrate for measured improvement. The same thing goes for branch offices as well. I look forward to sending these to you in the future, and once again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Take care.